Welcome back to the Postpartum Plan podcast. This podcast is designed to support and empower you through postpartum. Whether you're expecting, in the early postpartum days, or beyond, this space is for you. I'm your host, Madison Fugere, a dedicated postpartum doula and pediatric sleep consultant, striving to help parents feel confident and supported in their parenting journey. Each week, I'm sharing practical tips and expert advice to help you navigate all the postpartum things with confidence. Well, as much confidence as you can. Let's embark on this journey together, making your parenthood as serene and supportive as possible. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here alone today again, but I am going to be talking to you guys about postpartum doula work and what a postpartum doula is. I hope you guys have been enjoying the last few episodes and kind of gotten a scoop on lots of different topics. But I'm super excited because today is going to be a lot of information on postpartum doulas. I don't think a lot of people know that it's even an option. And so I am really excited to share with you guys today all about postpartum doulas so you can decide if this might be something that would be a really good fit for you and your family as you're growing it. So as a certified postpartum doula myself, I had no idea that postpartum doula work was a thing before I started in this career. And I was a daycare manager, a nanny. I've done a lot in the education field and the childcare field. And so for me to not know that a postpartum doula was a thing was like really bizarre. And so I can only imagine that there are an abundance of people out there that have no idea what postpartum doula work is. And I often find that when I talk to people out in the community and they ask what I do and I tell them, or even on inquiry calls when people are asking or thinking about hiring me, a lot of them are often saying either, oh my gosh, I wish I knew about this with, subsequent kids, my earlier days. I wish I did this with my oldest. Or a lot of the times they're saying they had no idea this was a thing. And then they did a lot of Googling because they needed support. And here they are. And so the idea that we can educate families and people earlier on and prepare them for the postpartum period. And as kind of this whole postpartum podcast goes along, we want people to be prepared for their postpartum experience and not just focusing on their birth. And so I'm really excited to kind of walk you guys through all of the things that a postpartum doula does. So the basic explanation of a postpartum doula that I like to use is we are basically an expert in the first 3 months of life. That's known as the postpartum period, but it's also known as the fourth trimester because you really are connected with your baby during those first 3 months. They're really, really important to build a bond. And so as a postpartum doula, gosh, I don't know how many times I'm going to say postpartum doula during this episode, but I feel like I should count and go back. So maybe I'll start a poll on my Instagram. You guys should go over and guess how many times I say that in this episode. Anyways, sorry, total side tangent. But anyways, so some of the things that we do are, well, everything we do is within that first 3 month period. And it has a lot of information that we have been trained in to be able to know and provide expertise to you guys with. And so I'm going to walk you through those services and those expertise categories. So what we do as a postpartum doula is we come into your house when you are within that first 3 month period. Some clients will prefer someone to come in the night they get home from the hospital and stay for, X amount of weeks, a small amount of weeks. Some prefer to stretch their time out and to have someone come every week or a few times a week for the full 3 months. Some people choose to wait until their partner has gone back to work and they are alone, and then they choose to hire somebody as help. It really is up to you. It's up to what you can financially afford and what you think that you will benefit from. So when we come in, we are truly a support system for the whole family. We are coming in with expertise in newborns, in maternal support. We come in with support and knowledge in tons of different topics that I'm going to go over here. But it really is, we are there as a support person for your family. And so that means that includes everyone in the house. That includes the birthing person, any partner. It includes siblings. It includes, pets and animals. It also includes lots more. And so we are there to be able to take anything that we can off of your plate so that you can truly focus on yourself and your baby and really making those memories as amazing as you can for that first bit of time. So we're there for support of the birthing person as well as any partners. We also will provide some sibling adjustments. Some postpartum doulas do more of this than others. Some have more experience with older children. So for me, as somebody who has a degree in child and family studies and has worked with older children and managed a daycare, I do come in with a bit more knowledge on sibling support and how to integrate that together. Some people don't have as much of that, but they might have a couple of tips and tricks. Same thing goes for pets and animals. If you're worried about bringing your new baby home to a sibling or a furry friend, it can be really nerve-wracking. You don't know how they're going to take to that. And so having a postpartum doula there can help to facilitate this introduction and might have some tips and tricks in order to make things better for you guys to integrate this new little one into your family. We also do a lot of household tasks. So anything from light cleaning, like, keeping things nice and tidy in the house. Some people do vacuuming. Some people will do any type of different things. You should really talk to your doula about what light cleaning means to them. They'll do a lot of baby laundry. We do dishes, and we'll clean all pump parts and bottles and any other dishes that may be left in the sink, as well as meal preparation. And that's a huge one. A lot of postpartum doulas will prepare meals for you if you're open to it. Especially if you have a breastfeeding person in your household, it can be really, really exhausting. And it takes a lot of calories and it takes a lot of hydration to keep that milk supply up. And so being able to come in and prepare a meal or snacks or really anything that could nourish your body and take something again off of your plate is what we want to do. We also are able to do errands. Again, check with your postpartum doulas because all of us do different things, but this is just a bunch of options and it's things that I provide to my clients. So I wanted to share. One of the limitations of a postpartum doula for many of us is driving, as our liability insurance doesn't allow us to drive our clients or anybody else in our cars. However, that doesn't mean that we can't run errands for a lot of our clients. Some people will make a grocery list and have us run an errand for them while them and baby are napping. Whether it be a Target run, you need to pick up a prescription from CVS or a grocery store or anything in between. I've dropped off donations for clients before. I've done lots. And so that can really be something that's helpful because getting out of the house is a whole ordeal sometimes. And so it's really nice to be able to delegate those tasks off to somebody else. The big two things or few things that are the next ones here. The first is newborn education. And this is something that as doulas, we come in with this expertise in being able to help you understand your baby. Especially if you're a new parent, you may feel really overwhelmed because there's so much to do and you really don't want to mess anything up. And so at times that can be really anxiety provoking. And so we are able to help you and support you in understanding the milestones that your child should be able to be reaching at certain ages and helping you to teach them how to approach those and accomplish those milestones. We teach you how to soothe your baby for when they're crying and upset. We'll teach you different ways and tips and tricks on how to make your life and this new life called parenthood easier for you. A lot of times parents will come to me and say that they're really nervous learning how to bathe their child for the first time. It can be scary. Little babies are tiny and in this water, it can be scary and they're slippery and you don't want to drop them and there's a lot to it. And so we'll be able to walk you through how to give baby a bath, give you some tips and tricks on how to make baby the most comfortable in the bathtub so that they may not be as upset. We'll teach you and walk you through what makes the most sense on how to bathe them when it comes to where you place the soap or tips and tricks on that, how often you need to really use soap and things like lotions and whatnot. As a newborn baby, they don't need a lot of that. We teach you things like how to use proper feeding sources. So if you're breastfeeding, that's a whole nother topic that we'll get to in a moment here. But if you are pumping or you're utilizing bottles or a formula or anything like that, we're able to teach you and walk you through how to tell if baby is hungry and full, how to properly feed with a bottle using a paced bottle feeding method, and how to check to make sure that their latch on a bottle is correct and that they're getting a full meal and a full feed. We help you in setting up a routine to an extent. It's really hard to put newborns in this first 3 months on a true routine, but we can set up expectations and set up groundworks for a schedule for their future. We can help you understand their awake windows, their feeding windows, how often they should eat, how often they should sleep, how long to let them sleep for, and all the things in between. It really is a puzzle trying to figure out how to figure out your child's day. There's always that awkward witching hour right before bedtime. And it's like, okay, are they going down for a nap? Are they going down for bed? Are they hungry? Are they tired? Are they overtired? Are they, exhausted, or are they hungry? And all of these things that I feel like I just said the same things over and over. See, this is why we don't edit, you guys. These podcasts. I love it, but I make no sense sometimes. But yeah, so there's a lot to figure out. And so we're there to help you. Okay, so then we jump into newborn care. So basically, the idea behind newborn care is giving parents a break. We're there to truly care for your child while you go and get some rest, get some sleep, accomplish tasks that may be hard to accomplish when baby's awake or you need to be tending to them. And ultimately, we're a person in the household that you can trust to take care of your child so that you can take some time to focus on you, which is really hard during the postpartum period. And then we jump to breastfeeding, which I kind of alluded to a moment ago here, but we as postpartum doulas are trained in breastfeeding basics. In order to get certified through almost any postpartum doula, like company, agency, whatever you want to call it, you need to take a breastfeeding course. So we come into the house with basics on how to make sure baby is latching properly, how to tell if they're truly getting a full feed. We can have information and education to help you through pumping, through milk supply, storage of breast milk, and so much more. And then we also are able to offer referrals out. So if you are really struggling with breastfeeding, we are often able to hand out a bunch of different lactation consultants or IBCLCs and recommend those for you to meet with. So rather than having to go to Google and find a bajillion different things and find someone that you can trust and that you want to offer and bring into your household, it can be a lot. So having a doula there for any type of referrals, from lactation to our next topic, which is mental health, to chiropractic, to literally anything in between, we offer and we're able to give you guys resources. So that way you can know that you are reaching out to people that you can trust. And then the last thing I wanted to touch upon here is the idea of this whole mental health aspect of it. As I'm sure all of you guys are aware, there is a huge mental health toll that comes with being new parents. A lot of people hear about postpartum depression. There's also so many different other things that go along with postpartum mood disorders. And that is a whole nother episode in and of itself. But being able to walk through yourself through those as a birthing person, but also recognizing that partners experience these types of mood disorders as well, and being able to help them through it. So as a postpartum doula, we're there to look for those red flags of mood disorders within any adult in the household and be able to refer you to resources that can help you to better yourselves for the future. We're also there to be a sounding board for you. So if you had a birth that you really want to kind of walk through and talk out loud, we're a sounding board for that. And we're able to support you and to listen when you need someone to listen. So that is just some of the support services that we do. It really is so different from one postpartum doula to the next. Some people do offer daytime shifts, some offer overnights, and some offer both. So like I said, I'm planning to do another episode on how to interview a postpartum doula, things you should ask, things you should look for. So if you're interested in that, definitely look out. But then I also wanted to take a moment here on today's episode to let you all know that I have launched a super exciting thing. So you can check out the show notes below, but my digital resources have launched on Etsy. So I have created so many, well, not so many. Right now there's 3 posted, but I'm working on more digital resources. As a certified sleep consultant and postpartum doula, I am trying my hardest to provide information and support to as many families as possible. The postpartum support I provide is in person, with sleep consulting being virtual, my membership being virtual, which you can also sign up for and find information in the show notes below. And this podcast, I'm just trying to reach as many people as I can to offer resources and support. So if they don't have a postpartum doula around or can't afford that they can find something that can still help them and support them. And so I have currently 3 documents launched on the podcast. I'm sorry, on my Etsy. It depends on when you're listening to this. And so there might be more, but go head over and check it out. There currently is a sleep chart document as well as sleeping and feeding windows. The sleep chart document is accurate for 2-month-olds all the way through 3-year-olds. And that's going to give you information on sleep, naps, sleeping through the night, how long to have them awake for, and so much more. The sleep and feeding windows document is for the first year of life. And on that, it's going to give you really, really flexible windows, but again, information on kind of where to start on how many ounces your child should be eating, how frequently, how long should they be awake for, and how many night feedings they might have, and all of that kind of stuff. And then the last and my most excited document, which really, really, really connects to this podcast, is I have posted my Postpartum Plan Workbook. And this workbook is over 20 pages long. It has prompts and questions to help you navigate your postpartum period. It has sections for you to fill in and pages for you to print off and post around the house, from preparing for you and your partner's mental health and your, breaks and leaves from work, preparing anything for pets in the household or other siblings. There's a section on meals and being able to have a meal plan and a grocery list. There's sections on emergency contacts and so much more. And every page that has a section for you to brainstorm on it is also going to have prompts that I've written and that I urge my clients to think about prenatally so that they can be set up for postpartum. And so I'm super excited for that. So you guys can head over, and I even have a discount code for my listeners. So if you head over to the Etsy shop and you choose any of those documents and add that to your cart, you can use the code podcast for 15% off. And then you will be able to download all of those digital files and be able to utilize them. So if you head over there and you do download them, let me know, and let me know if you have any input or any other documents that you guys want to see. I have a handful of other documents I'm working on, but I'm happy to share, like I said, any knowledge that I have with you guys. And so if there's things that you're looking for, I would absolutely love to chat it through with you and to be able to curate something based off of what you guys are looking for so that you can use it as a resource. So with all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know it was a little bit shorter than typical, but I hope that you guys were able to get all of the information on kind of what a postpartum doula is. And I hope you are ending today's episode feeling more comfortable, I guess, and confident in your knowledge of doulas and deciding on if you want to add one to your family for your new little one. So yeah, I hope everybody is doing great. Have a great rest of your day or evening or whenever you're listening to this, and I'll talk to you next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into the Postpartum Plan podcast. I hope that today's episode brought you support, relatability, and valuable insight. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave a review and share with any of your prenatal and postpartum friends and family. Your feedback helps us reach more parents seeking support. And if you're looking for additional resources, please feel free to connect via Instagram at Serene Moments Doula for constant information, tips, and tricks, or check out my website, www.serenemomentsdoula.com. See you next week.